The famous ZSU 23-4 Shilka. Let's fire hose some tanks. So, first things first. The Shilka is a self-propelled anti-aircraft system with four 23mm cannons, which it gets its name from, and a very capable radar system, which is able to automatically track low-flying aircraft and helicopters. If you've ever flown close air support and ground RB against the Russians at, anything above 8.0, this is the thing that's shooting those Lucky Charm rainbows at you from 2 kilometers away. Its four guns have a combined rate of fire of over 4,000 rounds per minute, and it's intended to fill an anti-air role on the team. But, come on, it's War Thunder. So today we're going to bring out the Shilka and go hunting for light vehicles. The Shilka is useful in the anti-air role, very useful, and it has a strong area denial capability at BR 8.0, but I just really love weapons with a high cyclic rate. And it doesn't get much higher than the Shilka's 4,000 rounds per minute. Plus, I really enjoy trying to beat the odds and do well in underdog situations in gaming, and using the Shilka to hunt other ground vehicles is a perfect fit and a pretty significant challenge. The odds are stacked against you. First of all, the Shilka is huge. It's the size of a main battle tank, and its bulky turret makes a pretty large target. If you don't take down the radar mast, it's taller than a lot of cover points and will give away your location, so you gotta try and be tactical and only deploy your radar mast if you think you hear a helicopter or something nearby. Second, the Shilka is completely unarmored. Like, no kidding. A stern glare from an enemy tank or a few rounds of machine gun fire will often be enough to take you out. That rack of TP stuck on the back of my Shilka's turret is probably giving me better armor than the turret's plating. Third, this thing is clunky. Remember, the Shilka is intended to sit around in the back and use area denial tactics against aircraft using its radar system and its guns. It's not meant to be zipping around the battlefield keeping up with the BMPs and stuff, so it doesn't have a lot of torque or a lot of speed. All those little Italian scout cars and stuff will literally run circles around the Shilka. However, you have two very important things on your side. First, the turret traverse is very fast and responsive, even before you spade and upgrade it. The guns have good elevation and move quickly, so if you spot someone up on a ledge or something like that, you can take them out or at least tag them to spot for your team. Second, the cyclic rate. This thing is just nuts. In addition to the actual physical damage you can do to targets by peppering them with over 60 rounds per second, taking fire from a Shilka causes a huge mess on the target's screen, with smoke and sparks flying everywhere. It can be confusing for a few critical seconds as they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and the Shilka has a pretty strong suppressive effect. Using this thing effectively against ground targets really is more art than science. You need a combination of a good map that will let you get in close, a route to the enemy team's unprotected flanks or rear, and a bit of luck. If you find yourself going up against a regular tank, you probably won't be able to kill it outright. Your fire hose only has about 60mm of armor penetration. But, if you're careful and lucky, you can do enough superficial damage to leave the tank disarmed, disabled, and sometimes even on fire as you drive away. You can get a significant number of assists playing the Shilka as the players on the other side of their screen scream and rage and pound their keyboard. If you stick to a shoot and scoop playstyle, you can have some good success with this, but personally, I like to get in close and brawl it out, even if I end up with a fat lip. Playing the ZSU 23-4 like this is gonna hurt. You're gonna get killed. Like, a lot. So, This isn't something to do if you're in a mood where you're going to get easily frustrated. War Thunder is notoriously slow and clunky to rage quit out of back to your desktop. So consider hunting tank destroyers in the Shilka as more of an amusing diversion to have some fun, rather than a serious tactic for grinding or anything like that. Some general tips if you try this at home. Aim for gun barrels and missile launchers with your opening spam if you can. I know, it's obvious, but it can get really easy to be caught up in the heat of the moment and just hold your trigger down for the magic rainbow. If it's a bigger target that you can't kill, try to just track them and move away. The Shilka is amazing at taking out tracks and wheels. As I've already mentioned, also you should stow your radar. Set your hotkey to turn your radar off and throw the switch right at the start of the match. It only takes a second to bring the radar back online if you need it, so just turn it off. All it's going to do is just give away your position, so just stick it down. If you can, sticking with your teammates as you advance, forward on the map is a very solid strategy with this thing. The superficial damage from the Shilka can often be enough to set up a target for your buddy to get an easy kill. This makes the Shilka a great wingman if you can live long enough to use it in this sort of a role. The big one, though, know your targets. Stuff like Centauros, BMPs, Bradleys, and other anti-air vehicles are what you should be trying to find and take out. Sometimes, if you see some big chonky main battle tank like an M60 Patton or something, it's not worth giving away your position if they haven't seen you, so just avoid the engagement if possible. The ZSU 23-4 is absolutely amazing at using its high rate of fire to take out SPAA and tank destroyers, but if a Leopard or something smacks you, you're just not going to get through to the soft underbelly, and it'll be a bad time. The real-life Shilka is a pretty interesting vehicle with a somewhat controversial history. It was originally designed in the late 1950s and entered initial service in 1960. It's been upgraded and modified into many variants over the decades, and it's seen combat service with dozens of countries in conflicts all over the globe. A number of real-life users have actually deployed the Shilka in a role similar to what we're talking about here in War Thunder. It's been used in real life as an effective anti-vehicle vehicle in a number of conflicts, and it hurts to even think about this, but the Shilka has even been used in an anti-infantry role a few times, which is pretty horrific. Right now, the Shilka in the game sits in the Soviet tree at 8.0, and Germany was the only other nation that's currently in War Thunder that ever used it in real life, so it's possible maybe we'll see a German Shilka in the tree someday, but who knows. The United States actually has a small number that were captured in the Gulf, and they're used for OPFOR training along with a captured Mi-24 helicopter. So, I mean, maybe it's possible that the U.S. tree will get premium Shilka the same way that, most of the factions can get captured enemy World War II aircraft as premiums, but I don't know. That's just speculation. All in all, the ZSU 23-4 is one of my favorite ground vehicles in War Thunder, and it's really fun to use it as a tank destroyer, as long as you don't mind getting killed a bunch along the way. If you haven't, you should try it. As always, thanks for watching.